Come on in, y'all. Come on in. Come on in here, family. Come on in. Come on in. Peace and light. Peace and light. Come on in here. Come on in. Come on in. Man, I'm sure they inserted the program for me to lose, but I bounce back. Beetlejuice, matter of fact. Fact of the matter is that he don't lose in his whack. But I don't lose me if you gotta adapt. And don't let them eat it, you do not react. You gonna do something that you gonna regret. And they throw the key at you, look where you at. Gather yourself, you know a G in you. This just a test, it's just a rep. And you got the key in you, you are the map. Cause you are the best. And you know the rest, you're blessed. Yeah, let's go, family. You are watching Magick Up TV. I am your host, Seven The Alchemist. Here's where we talk about love, we talk about law, we talk about all things you understand. There's nothing off the table, and here's what we say. Life is easy. We make it hard. You know what to do when you get here. Hit the love button, hit the share button, let somebody know that the Alchemist is in the building. Come on, family. Let's go. Blessings, man. I know you feeling the bumping and scraping. That's cause you willing it. Potter is making. Clay almost done. I'm in her shaping. I'm shaving whatever ain't good for me. Good for me. I'm so amazing. I say it. I know what I am. Marvelous science. So God must be in me. The enemy working. That's just to get me off balance. I'm living my purpose. It wasn't the serpent. I got him tatted. No longer bothered. I'm no longer worried. It doesn't matter what's coming. I got it. Protected as God is my witness. I'm God and I got it. I'm thankful I'm digit. Let's go, man. Come on. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. So listen, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about magic. We were talking about how in depth, the people of the spiritual world really get into this thing, right? Without resolve. Without resolve. I know so many practitioners of the spiritual context, even those of Christian faith, people of different denominations of religion, who are seeking for transmutation of energy within their lives of conflict. You know what I'm saying? And they're lighting their candles, they are lighting their sage, they are saying their prayers, but for some reason, things just they're not shifting, or they're not forming the way that they would like, or that you would like. And I think that when we live in this world, right, we have to understand that no matter who you pray to, no matter what you practice, there's always a format, though, right? Like if you were to climb, the Eiffel Tower, right? You climb to the toppest point of the Eiffel Tower, and you decided you were gonna jump, okay? Your religion has nothing to do with the outcome. You understand? Your religion has absolutely nothing to do with the outcome. The outcome has everything to do with the way you approach the situation, your knowledge about the situation and the absolute of its circumstance, your knowledge of the outcome, right? Like what the outcome could possibly be, and then how you maneuver through that, right? So we were talking, and I said, there's really only but four corners of conflict. Most things fall into, one of those corners. Peace, divine, I see you. Shira, I see you. I think most conflict that we experience, they exist in one of these boxes. Okay? And so we're going to talk about those boxes, but more importantly, how do we get out them boxes? You know what I'm saying? Like, I've said my prayers, I've done this, but nothing's changing. Those are things that you do in part. What does that mean, Seven? Meaning that there's another side to that particular, there's another side to that activity to complete it. You understand what I'm saying? You can have all the magic in the world. You can have all the ingredients, right? You can have all the ingredients that it's required to complete a ritual, but it's up to you to put those ingredients together properly for the best outcome, right? So we're going to talk about some things in the natural. I believe, we get so inundated with this religious rhetoric and this spiritual rhetoric that we don't know how to apply, the common science of this divine. You understand? Peace, Queen. I see you, Miko. Like a flamingo. Look at my bangs. Look at my bangs. All right. So, what are the four corners of conflict? I'm glad you asked. All right. Well, what is conflict? Conflict is a natural part of life. It arises from various sources, but understanding the root causes can help us navigate. And resolve them effectively. Navigate, resolve, effectiveness. Okay? This is the purpose of magic, right? But oftentimes we don't see the simplicities. We think magic is this thing that has to be, mined out of a cave and polished off and put on an altar. You know what I'm saying? But religion was a way of life that got written down, that then was put in a book, that was then given to a people to save them from pestilence and real situations that was taking place. We made those things religion and gave those things the vainglory for human control. Because once you really teach people effectiveness, right? I don't need you to become a slave to Magick Up TV. I don't want to do things to manipulate you. I would like your help in spreading the message. You know what I mean? I don't need to manipulate you. As long as I'm showing you some things that if you practice or if you implement into your life could have some absolutely breathtaking results, like why wouldn't you help spread the message, right? So I look at things from a different perspective. So let's talk about these four corners of conflict and how we can transmute. The first one, internal conflict. Struggles within yourself, such as self-doubt, fear, guilt, or indecision. This often stems from unmet desires, misaligned values, or unprocessed emotions. You have one on hand and then the cause, right? So we have what an internal conflict is and where those could stem from. Okay? Number two, interpersonal conflict, which is different from internal conflict. These are disputes or misunderstandings between two or more people. Internal conflict is the conflict within yourself. Interpersonal conflict is, that person that come to work and they are always creating a problem. They just, oh my God, everything's a problem, right? Everything's a problem. You're like, come on, man, like everything. Examples of this are relationship arguments, workplace disagreements, and family dynamics. This is where the roots of these things, right? External conflict, which is different from interpersonal conflict. This is conflict that challenges imposed by circumstances or the environment, right? So this could be your financial stress. This could be your health issues. This could be systematic barriers, right? Like, being black. And then you have societal conflicts. Actually, let me take a step back. Systematic barriers are things like credit, bills, health issues. It could be car problems, right? It could be, that type of stuff. Societal conflict are pressures and expectations from cultural forms or cultural norms. Societal systems or global issues, COVID, right? Racism, gender inequality, economic disparity, right? These are the four corners of conflict. Peace, Nicole. Peace, Jock. I see you, King. These are the four corners of conflict. Until you realize what corner you're in, how can you effectively being the key word, remember that's what I said, effectively, right? How can we effectively transmute if we're not being observant and being honest about where we are and what we're dealing with? What corner of this conflict am I dealing with? You understand? So now let's talk about it. Right? I'm going to hop right on in. I didn't want this to be long and drawn out. You know what I'm saying? When I'm doing lessons like this versus how, the other style, I'm very factual. I'm very, bow, right? Because it's like branding. Some people learn things one way, other people learn things another way. And if you are a practitioner of the people, if you are someone who is giving yourself to the people, then you have to really, it's your responsibility to learn how to communicate. It is your responsibility. Because if you're going to do this, then what good is it if people can't, if it doesn't edify anyone? So let's talk about it. Number one, what are 10 ways in transmuting this energy? Conflict can generate negative energy, which, if not addressed, can affect mental, emotional, and even physical health. All right? Mental, emotional, physical. If you realize people who have health problems, right? If it's not a direct like genealogy situation, meaning that it came through the blood, then normally it is something that has taken place because the mental was affected first, then was the emotional, and because it had nowhere to go. You understand? It's like a bullet. Stress is like a bullet. You understand? You can be healed in a place where, it either A, doesn't hit you, or B, when it hits you, it doesn't hit a major artery. It just goes in and out. On TV. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it just went in and out. Let me get a cigar and like that. Ah. Right? Or if not healed, if not whole, if not in a place of observation, stress and conflict could be like a bullet that hits you and hits a bone and travels upward, downward. It starts to affect areas, you understand, that was not the target. It starts to affect areas that it really didn't have to affect if it just went straight in and out. Right? So I think in learning how to transmute, I want you to learn that word, transmute, the transmutation, the ability of transforming something from a negative position to a positive without having to change the actuality of it. You understand? What does that mean, Seven? Meaning you've been on this same job for all these years. You've been having the same bills for the last year, the last 2 years. None of it is new. But for some reason, you're allowing the stress of the thing that's been going on all this time, you're allowing that stress to now shape your decisions in not a positive format, not a positive way. You're complaining all the time now. You know what I'm saying? And in complaining, you're not being observant to the beauty that's around you. And in that, and not being observant, you're missing a lot. And in missing a lot, you're staying in that same lane of stress and frustration. But if we are the divine, then we are supposed to know how to transmute that. It's not that we are the divine so nothing happens to us. That's ridiculous. You think just because you decided to praise something or worship something that nothing was going to happen to you? Come on, man. That's ridiculous. You're still an occupant of this globe. So you are indirectly affected by the weather. You are indirectly affected. You understand? Because the weather could affect another person's attitude. That attitude now, interpersonal conflict. They start to bring that to you. And now if you don't know how to transmute that energy, we now have a bigger situation. So let's get into it. Number 1, mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness and meditation is the practice of deep breathing, guided meditation, or mindfulness exercises to center and calm yourself. So if you belong to a particular religion, that could be setting up a particular set of time during the day for prayer. If you belong to a certain spirituality, that could be, you're setting up a certain amount of time during the day to meditate or to observe, the beyond. This is not necessarily ritualistic situations like lighting sage and all of that. This is the mindful. This is completely the mindful. This is learning how to silence the mind without any apparatus. So many people need to light a candle. So many people need the moon. So many people need this. When you learn a particular level of mindfulness, you don't need anything. You're able to just stop. Take a few deep breaths. And center yourself, right? Number 2, journaling. As ridiculously simple as this sounds, journaling, you understand, is an extremely powerful form of magic. When you're able to write about your thoughts, emotions, and conflict to release pent-up energy, it gains clarity. Why? Because you're able to take that energy, that mind, that stress that's here starts to travel, guys, right? So if you're able to send it, right? I'm able to send that energy through a filter first. I'm going to send it through a filter. I'm going to send it through my arm, and I'm going to put it in this pen. The pen is going to put it in the ink. The ink is going to put it on the paper, and I no longer possess it. Wow. Also in journaling, it allows you to catalog. It allows you to categorize. It allows you to compartmentalize. So many of us, everything is right here. Everything is right? It's right there. So it's hard to form a thought. It's hard. You're like, Seven, I can't. I'm so stressed out. I can't think. I'm like, when the last time you wrote it down? Look, for some reason, some of us kick and punch at resolve, almost as if we want to sit and fester in whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? Writing it down provides clarity. It allows you to see what it is that you're dealing with. Now it's outside of you. Now you can look at this thing from a different perspective. You can observe this particular thing from a different perspective. That perspective gives you a different narrative, or it should be able to. But if it's inside you, you're never allowing it to leave. You're never allowing it to give it its own space so that it can breathe on its own. Then it starts to take over within, right? Number 3, energy healing techniques. Explore methods such as Reiki, acupuncture, or chakra balancing to shift and cleanse your energy. Again, this is again, we're going to get to other things, right? But if you're able to separate these things specifically and independently for themselves, for the value that each one of these numbers brings to a particular stressful situation, or, you know, a particular conflict. These are like, this is like weaponry. You've got your knives, you've got your swords, you've got your pistol, you've got your shotgun, you got your Gatling gun, you got your tank, you got your helicopter. You understand? Like, you don't have to just have one way. When you're able to master the various ways of transmuting energy, oh my God, it is so powerful. It is so powerful. It is so amazing. Reiki, acupuncture, and chakra balancing. These are the energy points of the human body. This is science. This is not, we haven't made it to light in anything yet. We haven't made it to the sage yet. These are actual techniques of transmuting energy. Some people only do one thing, right? Number 4, creative expression. Oh my God. Oh, to be able to sing about it. To be able to dance it out. To be able to write about it. Use art, music, dance, or writing as outlets to process and transmute emotional energy. When you're able to say fuck you to people without harming someone, you're able to get that frustration out and dance. You're able to stomp on a head without stomping on a head. You're able to you go to the gym and work that out. Man, you don't even understand. These are endorphins. Each one of these releases chambers of endorphins. You start to release the bondage. You start to release the shackles. It's like waking up in a box, shackled both legs and arms with a brace on your neck and a mask, blindfolded. You're able to shake each one of these layers of conflict off and transmute those things into desirables. Number 5, like I was saying, exercise, yoga. Even a simple walk can help release tension and stagnant energy. Some of y'all don't even get out the house. Some of y'all don't even leave the house. And the moment you do, you're going from your house to the car. From the house to the car. You're not allowing your feet to hit that magnetic pulse of the earth. You're in a car, encased in steel, sitting on rubber. Or you're at work in a chair sitting down. But a lot of this activity has been designed to remove your kinetic and energetic energy. And it gives itself to the yielder. You understand? Your job is taking your energy. You're sitting down. You're not standing up. You're not walking. They're giving you 1 hour to eat. You have no moments of pleasure. You're there specifically to be a battery. Some of y'all got a problem with it, yet you got a job. You got to know what you're dealing with. You got to know what you're dealing with. And deal with only what you desire to deal with, no matter if you feel like you have to or not. Doors will open themselves the moment you align, the moment you're in alignment. A lot of this stress is only set up to be a guardrail, you know what I'm saying, to get you back on course to where you really want to be. A lot of it. Because what happens when all of these storms start forming in your life? You start getting your shit together. Am I lying? Am I wrong? Okay. Number 6, nature immersion. Spend some times outdoors to ground yourself and connect with the natural world, which is a restorative. It has restorative properties. Did you know that you can have all this stress and go sit up under some trees, man? Take in deep breaths, sit in meditational format, and let the earth, let it soak into the earth. Let the earth take it from you like an emotional animal. That's what nature is. You go and you put that energy in the tree. The tree was designed to give it back in a different format. You know what I'm saying? The grass, the flowers, the wind. These things are transmutative properties. Even sitting in front of a fire. Number 7, forgiveness practices. Some of you dealing with conflict because you don't want to let go. Some of y'all dealing with so much conflict because you don't want to let go. You don't even want to let go. You're like, let go of it. No, I want to be angry for the rest of my life. I just got to be angry. Some of y'all act like y'all can't even appreciate life unless you got a problem. Like you just don't want to let it go. That hurt, that pain, that shit happened 20 years ago. Yeah, but Seven, you don't understand. You don't understand. So now, instead of letting it go, you want me to understand. Come on. Let it go. It's not serving any good. Peace, Queen. I see you. I see you, Anne-Marie. It's not serving any good. So what's the purpose of holding on to that pain? So that you could prove to people that you're tough and you're a hard ass and you're a badass and you know what I'm saying? You're G.I. Jane, G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? That's the purpose? You want to walk around with all this anger just to say that you survived it? Like, come on, man. That's ridiculous. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about the original people and how it ain't none no more. I almost got into it with somebody the other day. I didn't get into it. I didn't even almost get into it. Somebody made a comment that if you were mixed or of a different breed, that's what they said, or race, that you were not of the original people. When we say things, we gotta learn, we gotta understand what comes out of here, man. I don't think a lot of us even hear half the shit that come out of our mouths. We gotta learn how to forgive, because with what the things that we say, the things that, man, we have truly hurt some people's feelings. Some of us without even realizing it. Some of us without even realizing. You could truly hurt somebody with the best intentions in mind. You know what I'm saying? You can't walk through this planet without hurting people. It's not even possible. Why? Because we have different values, we have different sets of opinions. You know what I'm saying? And some people are really hell-bound on their opinions, and they really get hurt when their opinions are not valued or not heard or not, you know what I'm saying, observed. No matter how ridiculous the shit might sound to you. To them, it's not ridiculous. So we have to release. We got to release grudges and resentment by practicing forgiving towards ourselves first. Man, do you realize the number one person that hasn't been forgiven is yourself? You're able to forgive everybody else. You're able to forgive Tom and Tamika and Brad and Malcolm. You're able to forgive all of these people, but you haven't forgiven yourself. Do you realize that you're not making choices based upon the fear of the choice you made last time and how that didn't work out then? Some of you all's present, you mean the gift of today, the present. Some of you all's present, you're not opening because of gifts you got in the past. Something that you experienced in the past. You're allowing the past to hurt the present because you can't forgive yourself. It's not even about what that person did. You know what I'm saying? You feel foolish for going through it, don't you? Oh man, I feel like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? She used me, or he used me, or they used me. I feel stupid because I knew I shouldn't have done it, but I did it anyway. I don't hold myself in contempt. I had to learn. I had to learn how to let it go. I had to learn. And do you realize how many people are threatened by the fact that you know how to forgive yourself? Ooh, because they want to hold you in contempt. Do you realize how many people control their relationships because their partners ain't shit? They control them by their inadequacies and the fact that they always have to ask for forgiveness. Your partner is holding you in this emotional jail cell that you can never get out of because they won't forgive you. Or maybe it's you doing it. Maybe it's you doing it. Number 8, affirmations and positive self-talk. This is magic, y'all. See, you got all of these people selling you these trinkets and tinkets and gadgets and gizmos and spells and rituals. And all of that stuff is great. It's wonderful. As long as it works. It's fine. It's great. But do you understand that maybe, just maybe, the only reason why that ritual did not work is because you could not power it? What? What, Seven? What? You mean to tell me that practitioner could have been the truth? That ritual that they gave me really could have worked, but because I was depleted and did not know how to transmute my own energy, I couldn't power up the ritual for it to reach the altitude it needed to reach for that to happen? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was speaking, shout out the Black Man Lab. I was speaking at the Black Man Lab on the east side last Monday, this past Monday. And I was saying to the gentleman, I was like, listen, fellas, I said, I feel like the reason we can't, or the reason why kingdom building is not as successful as it could be, is because so many of us are so inundated by what's plaguing us. So many of you are not able to transmute energy enough to vibrate at the energy of the collective in order for larger things to take place. I spoke to somebody, I'm like, and they were talking about their magic. I'm like, okay, well, tell me about your magic. What have you done for other people? You know what I'm saying? And this dude is like, well, bro, you know what I'm saying? I got me a job. I got me a car. I'm like, that's great. That's great. Now, take it a step further. Do you understand how amazing you are if you've been able to transmute your own life? Most of my clients are practitioners. So when I'm communicating a little differently. I'm communicating with a certain level of, you should know this. I'm communicating at a level of accountability. I'm not communicating at a level of introduction to this information. If it is an introduction for you to this information, then, you know what I'm saying, glory be to the Most High. You feel me? But I'm talking to those who have students. I'm talking to those who are pumping it in and out. They're pumping it in and out. Why, Seven? Because those practitioners are the ones who are less thought of. Those are the ones who are really, really going through it. Why? Because they're helping you go through it, but no one's helping them go through it. And if they don't understand how to transmute energy themselves at a higher vibration, it's levels to this, y'all. It's levels to this. It's one thing to be able to go get a job for yourself. It's another thing to create job opportunities for 20 people. You are focused on making a paycheck on the 1st and 15th, and I'm focused on paying 20 people every 1st and 15th. We're not the same. And we have to be able to learn how to respect that and ask questions of desire, if in fact that is the desire. Seven, how did you do that? Instead of, I could do that too. Do it then. We're out here you know what I'm saying, infecting the world on the what could be's. These men are entering into relationships wanting these women to accept their godism and their kingism based on presumption, based on, what do you call it, potential. You want this woman to fall in alignment, king, but you're not showing her a kingdom. You're not showing her your rule, but you want her to be ruled by you. Don't you think she want to see you rule some other people before you try to rule her? And I say that with all respect. But if you're dealing with spiritual women, if you're dealing with women of a particular caliber, it would be much more easier for submission to take place if it came by nature and not by force. Sisters, you're wanting these men to respect you for all of this grandeur and all of this greatness, but you ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? I want you to love me and respect me for being a queen. But a queen is responsible for a kingdom. You understand? She is responsible to a body of people, you understand, who is, for whatever reason, is in desire or in need of leadership, counsel, or guidance. For you men out here who are claiming to be gods, the formality and the criteria of a god is to create circumstances of legacy for not yourself, for others. All of this work and all of this acclaim, all of this self-proclamation, it is not for you, beloved. It is for the body. That's what it's for. Because we, the collective, represent the creative. We, the collective, represent the creator. That's like when someone says, hey, you know what I'm saying? Are you black? Peace, Andrew. Peace, bro. Peace, King. If a person says, hey, are you black? And I go, yeah, I'm black. I'm not saying that all of blackness rides and falls with me. I'm not claiming to be the only black person, the only African descent. No, I'm claiming to be in the number of that collective. So when you claim to be God, what you're claiming is that you are claiming the responsibility of the collective. You understand, willingly inserted yourself into the narrative of the collective. You all are missing the mark for the words. So when I say affirmations and positive talk, if you are a God and are not being responsible to your calling, you understand, then you got to stop. You got to go back to being a man. You got to go back to being a man. You got to go back to being a woman. And now transmute that energy to queen status, to king status. Then transmute that energy to God status, to goddess status. These are the steps. These are the steps to the Elohim. We forgot that. Like it took 50 years to be someone's apprentice. It took 20 years to be someone's apprentice to get to greatness. You had to leave behind your treasures in glory. But we're in such a microwave society, we want to be considered great without doing the work. But then you're not even speaking the greatness to yourself. And it doesn't just mean saying, I am amazing. Because if you're saying to yourself, I am amazing, then that means you better be doing some amazing shit. Because that's what amazing is. Amazing is in the doing. Amazing is in the effectiveness. Number 9, and then I got one more. Number 9, healthy communication. Healthy communication. Address interpersonal conflicts with open and honest communication, fostering understanding and resolution. Some of y'all only want to argue to be right. Some of you only want to argue to hear yourself argue. Some of you have no concern with the collective. You just want to be right. Some of you, when you're arguing, it's so toxic. Why? Because there is no resolve at the end of it. Okay, you said all of that. You said all of that, sis. You said all of that, bro. But ain't said shit. Some of y'all are, I came into this society of knowledgeability, or what do they call it? I don't know, man. Being conscious. When I came into this realm of conscious, all I saw was conflict. All I saw was people condemning others. All I saw was hypocrites and prejudices. All I saw was finger pointing, you know what I'm saying, and entitlement. All I saw was anger, malice. You know what I mean? Misplaced observation, judgment, damnation, condemnation. That's all I saw. I didn't see anybody happy. Oh my God. Especially not the men. Especially not the men. We have to learn how to have healthy communication. Healthy communication means I get to tell you how I feel. I get to tell you how I feel without needing to be right. I don't have to be right for me to say what I need to say. I don't have to be right. I just need to be honest. I don't have to be right. I just have to be honest. You're afraid of being honest at the cost of being right. I don't have to be right. I just have to be honest. And once again, you have to understand when I'm speaking from this particular platform, again, majority of my clients or students or mentees, they have clients, students, or mentees. So the way I come, I'm going to come at you with the sword. I'm going to have healthy communication, but I'm going to be like your personal trainer. I'm not going to be like your best friend. You ask your best friend, "Hey girl, how I look?" "Ooh girl, you look good." Your trainer going to be like, you've been on them carbs, ain't you? You've been on them carbs. I see it. You ain't been working out, have you? You ain't been stretching either. I know, I could tell. You understand? I could tell. Your friend is so concerned with you liking them. Your trainer is there to do a job. Your trainer cannot be concerned with you liking them. I can't be so concerned with your level of you know what I'm saying, acceptance when it comes to delivering the divine. 7, what makes your divine the divine? If it resonates with you, then it is. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. See, I don't have to be right. In letting stuff like that go and learning how to communicate, you understand? You release this weight off of your shoulders of righteousness. I don't have to be righteous. I just have to be honest. I don't have to be righteous. Why? Because righteousness is in the beholder. Oh yeah. Righteousness is in the beholder. If you're a Christian and I'm a Muslim, I'm already out the gate. There's nothing righteous about me. And vice versa. But see, if I come to you from a place of intergalactic information, I don't care what religion you're a part in, because I'm not a part of anything you know of. You know what I mean? I don't belong to any man-made system. I belong to mankind. Even when I go to some of these meetings and they're wanting me to be in this particular mindset, and they're like, "Oh man, hate whitey," or they're like, "Oh man, you know what I'm saying, the black woman is God, or the black man is God, or man is more superior, or this, that." Whenever you're starting to become divisive, whenever you start dividing up the creator. Now you start entering into some issues. The messages that I have, this has nothing to do with sex, gender. This has nothing to do with religion. This is everything to do with transmuting fucking energy. I don't care who you believe in. This shit works. So if I know that it works, how do I know that it works? Because I've given these tasks to those who suffer from anxiety. I suffer from anxiety. I suffer from, the ideas of grandeur. What does that mean? That means that I know that I'm here for larger. And a lot of times it is very difficult to be in a place of non-grandeur. And I'm not talking about from material things. I'm talking about from platform to people. I also want to remind you all that this Thursday, I will be speaking at the Black Man Lab at 6 p.m. I think it's from 6 to 8. I think it's 6 to 8. The flyer is on my page. You understand? It is an amazing place for healing for a lot of these men. I have never been in a room that did not involve spirituality or religion to see such organization and love. These men are in there hugging and talking, creating resolve, introducing information, and just bridging the gap of community, right? So I'll be speaking at SAE tomorrow, which is Thursday, December 12th, at the Black Man Lab. Now, let's get to the last one. Number 10. These are 10 ways of transmuting energy. Rituals for release. Of course, I'm going to talk about magic. All of this was magic. Magic is the resolve. Magic is the apparatus by which the resolve comes through. You understand? That's all it means. The answer. That's all. That's it. Rituals for release. Creating personal rituals to symbolically let go of negative energy, such as burning a letter, burning a candle, or something that I created called the morning party. What's the morning party, Seven? I'm glad you asked that question. The morning party is, it goes up into number 5, the physical activity, exercise, yoga, right? Or it includes number 4, art, music, dance. It also includes, you understand, some chakra balancing and self-affirmations. The morning party is simply where I cut on an amazing song, something that resonates with me. And boy, do I get it. I mean, I get it. Why? Because at any point in the day, anything can happen. So if anything happens after my morning party, nothing can take my party from me. These are personal rituals that I've created to transmute energy. Why? I did that because I used to wake up thinking about if this was going to be the day that I died or not. That's what plagued my mind every day I woke up. I don't know what plagues yours. When I talk about these things, I'm very transparent. I have no reason to seem like I haven't gone through anything, that I'm not going through anything. No, we all are. But how do we go through it? Life is 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you respond. You understand? I love y'all. I love you. You're focused on being paid in the first and 14th. I'm focused on paying people on the first and 14th. We're not the same. Classic. That's my brother right there, man. Listen, I love y'all. Share this message. Peace to man, woman, and child in all things that walk the earth. This is what I say every ending of my videos, but I don't know if you all really listen. I don't even think you understand what I'm saying. Peace. Learn to transmute energy. Peace. Learn how to live in it. Peace. Learn how to give it. Peace. Peace to man, woman, and child in all things that walk the earth. As above, so below. May all things be balanced in well alignment. Dua, dua. As I send this love and light to each and every one of you. You've been watching Magick Up TV. I am Seven The Alchemist. Make sure you come see me at the Black Man Lab tomorrow at SAE. I love y'all. Share the message. Peace.